come afterwards. Hello. Hello, Spiritual Events Directory, and we are back. We did miss last week, but we are back this week with Wellness Conversations, the Woo-Woo series. Now, it's presented by our wellness community and sponsored by Spiritual Events Directory, and we love coming into this space to talk about the unusual, the unique, and the unknown. And on that note, introducing Karina Francois Naturopath, and Karina is coming into this space. I mean, this chick knows so much about everything really to do with, you know, wellness in really mind, body, heart and soul, because Karina, everything that you do, you know, it starts with nutrition, but we're going to talk about all the many ways in which everything that goes in affects something, and
yes,
it's all great.
Absolutely.
Also great. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and good evening, everyone.
And so, Karina, you and I have known each other for years. I came to you as a client many, many years ago. We then became colleagues. We used to run wellbeing workshops with Wendy Anastasia doing the yoga, and then we became friends. And so we just have this really close, a gorgeous relationship. I love everything that you do, and I just love to spruik you and spruik it far and wide. We're going to find out everything. I want to share everything that you do with everybody, but we are talking iridology specifically, yes, which is what you used to one of the things you used to do on our wellbeing days. So let's get right into it.
Sure. I love iridology. So iridology is a science, and it's one of those things that I use in all consultations. The beauty of iridology is that you can look at someone's iris, and everybody's eyes are totally different. So, yes, you know, they say the eyes are the window to the soul, but they're also the window to what you've inherited, your strengths, your weaknesses, what could potentially be a subclinical thing that may be going on for you. And in practice, it helps me to dispense herbs and check in with the person to make sure that, you know, we're dealing with each individual. So rather than just giving a generic, you know, herbal tonic or a generic program, it's specifically for that person. And that's what I love about iridology, that, you know, there's no two irises alike. You know, it is used in Europe as a diagnostic tool. Unfortunately, in Australia, we aren't allowed to diagnose, but we can certainly give indications. It's nothing to be afraid of, because some of the iris signs are about what we've inherited. So the whole idea with naturopathy is that we prevent things before they manifest. So, you know, as a naturopath, we always think of, okay, so our DNA and what we inherit is like a loaded gun. But what pulls the trigger is the things that we do with our lives. So, you know, how we take care of our bodies and so on. So even though you inherit different strengths and weaknesses, and every single person has them. Yes. So, you know, I'm yet to meet someone that, you know, is in full physical health. We all have strengths and weaknesses, but the beauty of it is you can buffer them to get the most out of your body in this lifetime. Iridology also gives you indications of personality, and
which is fascinating.
Yes, and emotional. So what's going on underneath emotionally, as well as any trauma that you may have experienced in your lifetime. And yeah, it's an amazing science. I love it. It was first developed, the inception of it was overseas. A scientist noticed that when an owl broke its leg, it created a mark on its iris.
Really?
And then when the leg healed, and how interesting that it's an owl, right? An owl is so, like, it's such a beautiful bird, you know, to bring in. And when it healed, that marking disappeared.
Yes, because exactly, symbolically, an owl is represents wisdom. And they can also, because one of our collaborators for our Future Me 2020 event, the owl is her animal. Now, who was it again? And an owl can see in the dark. Which is fantastic. So how interesting. And you know, Karina, you've been in clinic for and running your own business successfully for over 20 years.
Yes.
But I love how for all of us on this wellness journey, you know, the tools that helped us grow better in body, mind, heart and soul are the tools that, you know, we utilized, and now we sort of pay that forward. And I always love the story of how we kind of got started. But you've got, because this is the woo-woo show, you've got a fabulous story from childhood that kind of really was depicting, even at that early age, the kind of medicine woman you were going to grow into.
Yeah,
I'd love you to tell that story.
As a little girl, obviously, I always resonated with animals. So I used to spend a lot of time with animals, but I also used to love hanging out with the lady across the road. And I was born in Buenos Aires, and I lived in a place called Quilmes in South America. And, you know, this basically on this side of the road was the wealthy side of the road. And on her side of the road, she had this rundown house with all overgrown weeds and trees and all sorts of things. But I always used to be curious about her because she'd come out, she'd always say hello to me. But my parents and everyone would say, you know, don't go anywhere near her. She's a witch, you know, she's not good. She's not a good person. Like, there was a lot of fear around this particular woman that lived by herself. She did have lots of cats and lots of, you know, vines. And if you can imagine, you know, she was kind of like a recluse, but she must have seen something in me, I don't know, because her and I had a really great connection. And she used to have lots of jewelry and gemstones and things like that. And I would tell my parents that I was going down the street to hang out with friends, but in actual fact, I would cross the road and hang out with her. So, and I felt right at home with her. And yeah, so I feel that from a young age, you know, I always resonated with the witches. And I really love herbal medicine, and that's my passion. That's, you know, the green witch kind of thing. And iridology, the way that comes into it, I guess, is more to help me bring these pieces together to support other people in clinics. So yeah, and I'll never forget it. So yeah,
I love it. And so, Karina, we're going to, as we talk iridology, we're actually, and herbal medicine, we're actually going to also be, so ladies, here's some we prepared earlier.
Yes.
Been dying to say that. So we did ask, we've got lots of fabulous ladies watching us, Karina. We've got almost 30 ladies watching us, which is awesome. Thank you so much to everybody for joining us. And so how exciting. I mean, this is so unique, Karina. We're so lucky to have you in our wellness community. And so what we did, ladies, we needed to, because Karina, to do an iridology reading, Karina obviously in clinic has all of the gear, you know, the right sort of camera apparatus and all sorts. But since the invention of the iPhone, Karina can now, you know, do a reading, but we needed to get a photo of the eye really up close and personal, and you kind of had to, you know, you had to pull it wide open. So we did ask for, you know, those that were interested to submit that beforehand. So we do actually have 3 fabulous ladies that are watching the show that did come through, and we'd love to do one for everybody, obviously, but we won't have time in this session to do that. But you'll be able to, Karina, can you do you should be able to do an iridology reading, I would think, anywhere?
Yeah, pretty
From
much.
anywhere?
With our iPhones, like with iPhones and phones now, you can pretty much, you can. You know, it takes a long time to learn it. So it took me 3 years at uni to learn it.
Yeah.
But I kind of like, and obviously I need permission. So I know these people have given permission. You can't just go up to someone and check out their eye. You need that permission as well. That's something we got taught at school. So, you know, you can pretty much do it anywhere. And with the iPhone and with the computers, you can open them up and have a look at all the iris signs and so on. So yeah, it's amazing.
Absolutely. Well, let's get to the first one. And ladies, don't despair if you know, missing out on the iridology, but if you watch, keep watching, you'll really get some fantastic insight into iridology and how it's not just about the physical, it's also about the mental, the emotional, and the personality. And also Karina is going to be available later in the show to do some herbal oracle readings, which is amazing as well. So let's get started.
All right. So before I start, so I've got three people that have submitted irises. I wanted to show you the iris chart. I don't know if you guys have seen it, and it has evolved over the years. So there's different markings on the eye and different body parts, so different indications on there. The top part of the iris is usually the top part of the body, and the bottom part of the iris is usually reflecting the bottom part of the body. The inner part is usually the stomach, and then we look at, you know, the location of different organs and so on. So it's about breaking down where we see different things. So there's different organ systems and so on, but what we look for are different signs. So, you know, and it gets very technical. So there's some that are called lacunae, some that are called like you know, waves, you know, iris, liver spots and pancreatic spots and all sorts of things, you know, collarettes. And so when we look at someone's iris, we look at the overall iris, and then we kind of zone into the different areas. To do a proper iris reading, because me being a Virgo, I'm a perfectionist. And you also,
you've also got that life path 6 in numerology, which is also the perfectionist.
Yeah. So in order for me to do someone's iris, you know, to a T, would take me like 3 hours.
Yes.
So I only got the photos tonight. So I've done a general thing, but I'll go through it with you all and show you, you know, just basically what your indications are, and also give you some little tips and strategies as to what you can do to help support your body. I don't want you to be afraid. It's not a diagnosis. I don't want you to suddenly think, oh my God, you know, it is an indication. It is, you know, subclinical, and there's lots we can do to help support it. So that's basically the chart. So I'm going to start with, what am I going to start with? And it's okay to say the names, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to start with Rachel. Hi, Rachel. I can't actually see you, but I can feel you.
I can feel you, baby.
I can feel you. And I want to thank you for allowing me to look at your iris. So these are Rachel's irises. So I managed to print them off the laptop, which was really great.
Wow.
And I'm looking at Rachel's irises.
So just show me that first one again. You've got the left and the right, have you?
Yeah. So
beautiful.
that's left. Yep. And that's the right. That's the right.
Excellent.
So I'm looking at the iris. The first thing we do as an iridologist is we tend to put you into what's called a constitutional type. And there's different constitutional types. So with Rachel, she's got a blue iris. In iridology, there's only blue and brown irises, and everything else are different tonings that mean different things. So in our iris world, there's only a blue eye and a brown eye. Okay.
Excellent.
So with her one, the first thing I picked up, so when I look at the overall iris, there's like a line that goes around there.
Right.
So there's like a really dark blue line. I don't know if you can see, there's a dark blue line.
And that's unusual.
So that's like a circulation line. That's the lymphatic system line. And normally when I see that, I would say, Rachel, you need to make sure that you hydrate, because your body is craving water. It's also craving lots of minerals. So in order for water to stay in the body, you need minerals as well. It can also be indicative of, you know, the fact that your circulation, maybe you may get too hot, you may get too cold. So that is the first thing that I noticed on your iris. Okay.
Wow, wonderful.
The second thing I noticed was you've got lots of little white, I don't know if you can see them, lots of little white dots there. Can you see them, Michelle? So lots of little lymphatic dots there.
Yes.
So it's called, what that's called is a lymphatic rosary. And people that tend to have those little white dots tend to retain a lot of fluid in their body. So you might see people, you know, with fluid in their legs or fluid in their face, or a lot of fluid in their body. So, and that tends to come from problems with the digestion. And when I looked at her inner area, you can see that she's got a lot of fermentation. You've got a lot of fermentation in the gut, and you might need some digestive enzymes. And we have to help improve your digestion so that your lymphatic system isn't taking so much of a load. So if your digestion isn't great, then your lymphatic system will be picking up undigested matter, and then you will get a lot of bloating and so on.
Wow.
We also want to keep the lymphatic system clean because we want to make sure that our immune system's intact, and part of having a good immune system is having a clean lymphatic. Some people with lymphatic rosary have had their tonsils removed or their appendix. I'm not sure if you have, but generally with this iris type, we recommend that you get off dairy products. So not just lactose-free, but dairy products or anything that creates lots of mucus in the body. So I can see with your iris, there's a lot of white around the blue, and there's a lot of mucus build-up. So you might find that you're getting a lot of phlegm, and you need to cough it out, or you just feel sluggish. Your body feels sluggish. The other thing I saw on the right iris is a little heart marker. Now, don't get alarmed by it, because it can indicate that there have been heart issues in the family. It can also be that you might be prone to high or low blood pressure, and that's something that you would have to obviously get checked out with your doctor, but you definitely have the heart marker there. It can also indicate a lot of grief.
Okay, beautiful. So we're moving to the emotional now, which is great.
So when the heart marker is there, and yours is quite, you can see it, it stands out quite a lot.
Okay.
It may mean that you have got a lot of grief, and I can feel it as I'm saying it, that you need to really feel, okay? Don't be afraid of grief. It's natural. Where there was love, there's grief, and that's natural for you to have those emotions. On the right iris, I can also see a bit of a liver marker. I don't know if you have cholesterol, or if there are liver problems in the family, or you may be holding on to a lot of anger. So the liver and anger go together. So that, again, when you look at the iris, you look at the organ, you look at what potentially could be going on biologically, and then what could potentially be going on emotionally. There is also a little kidney marker there, which means that you could be having blood pressure issues, like I said, either high or low. And the kidneys are all about resentment. So maybe there's some resentment that you need to let go of. I'll move on to the left iris. Now, there's a lot more in this one.
Yeah, but we just want to give some quick readings. Yeah.
Now, the left iris, the first thing I saw, and you can probably see there's the little mark there, there's a thyroid marker. And the thyroid gland is your metabolic center, and it's where we control all of our metabolism. It's close to the vocal cords as well. So I don't know if you get, laryngitis and things like that, or you've had your tonsils out, like I said before. But definitely in the family, there's some sort of thyroid issue. Make sure you get your thyroid checked and properly, because the blood tests through the doctor aren't always the full thyroid screening. So you may need to have that done. And with this iris type, I'll end in saying that your iris to me shows that you are very intuitive. You are also a magnet for people's emotions. So a lot of the times there can be exhaustion when you are taking on everybody else's stuff. You're like you kind of grab everyone's energy. So you need to make sure you separate what's yours and what's theirs, because it will affect your overall health. You have had a little bit of anxiety. Yeah, you have had a little bit of anxiety. And I can see that, and that can affect your muscles, and it can create a lot of tension in your body. So you do have stress rings, and it's hard to see on this, but they usually sort of go round that way. So you do have a bit of stress, and that can obviously affect your overall health. So hopefully I'm getting it right for you, and I've picked up a few little things. Like I said, it does take a long time to look at it clearly, but that will give you an indication as to some of the basic things. And if you want to discuss them further, just, I'm happy to, for you to reach out. So
lovely. Well, we might have, that's terrific. Thanks, Karina. We might even, we were talking earlier about the personality. So in terms of personality, what do you look for in the eye? What are some of the, I know that you can see anxiety, as you just pointed out there for Rachel. What else can you see in terms of personality in the eye?
So the anxiety in the eye can come from things that have occurred in your life, or it can come from your own personality structure and how you are as a person. Yeah. And that's not a judgment. There's nothing wrong with that. So if you're someone,
can you see that in the eye?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So when you see that, it's kind of like there's like a bit of compression. I can see that in the iris, and it is, maybe personality type A kind of person. It can also be someone that's a healer, that's constantly.
Yeah, well, Rachel is. She actually is a myotherapist, so she actually is in the healing and wellness field. And so what other kind of personality traits can you see in the eye?
So you can see, like I said, you can see people that hold on to stuff.
Right.
So,
yep.
They can't let it go. Like I said, grief, unresolved grief. So rather than personality types, it's more like what they're experiencing or what would help them resolve a lot of physical issues if they
what they've gone through or what they're going through. Okay, but so we want to do some
with her iris, definitely very, very empathetic, also quite, like I said, intuitive or psychic.
Yeah, takes on board everyone. Which is a real woman thing to do, as well as when you're in that healing kind of field as well. Okay, so we want to do give as many people as we can opportunity to be read by you. So what we might do with Coralie is just sort of point out maybe 2 or 3 things from each eye that you can kind of see, and because I think Coralie is let's see if she's there you go. I'll read some as you get started on that. I've got some feedback from Rachel for you.
Okay. All right, so Coralie, hi, and again, thank you for letting me look at your iris. I feel blessed every time I can give you some information. With your eye, again, you're a blue iris, so again, someone that's quite intuitive. You can be quite psychic, empathetic, and all those personality traits.
Beautiful.
It's with your iris, you have a lot of acid in your body, so you definitely need lots of minerals. Question I did have is, have you had any kidney issues or any issues in your ovaries? Because I can see kind of like a little cystic formation. Nothing bad. It's just there is a marker on the kidney, and there is also one around that uterus ovary area. So I wanted to question you about that. Coralie, you are what's called a neuropathic iris. So people with neuropathic irises, their nervous system tends to rule their physical well-being. So if you are very anxious or you're under pressure or overwhelmed or so on, a lot of your symptoms or weaknesses will come up more. So the main thing to work on is your nervous system. You do have in your pharynx, larynx area, I noticed that there was a little bit of constriction. So I don't know if you are actually speaking up or saying what you want to say. And that's what I saw with that. And yes, and also I want you to get your thyroid checked as well. So that came up for you as well. So your thyroid and hydration was really important in your eyes.
Wow.
And I also think that maybe you do crave a lot of carbohydrates, and it's probably best for you to make sure that you balance your food properly to help you balance your mood. So to have enough protein at every meal to balance your mood. Yeah.
Wow, so that's fantastic.
I can give more if you want, but that was basically the little things that I picked up from her.
Yeah.
And
that's amazing.
Yeah. So hopefully I'm on track, because I've never met you guys.
That's going to be great to get the feedback. I thought that was Rachel coming onto the page, but it was just Rachel letting us know that, and we already knew that it was okay to read for her tonight, but that was actually a message rather than a comment. So when Rachel comes in, and she may not, she can always watch this later rather than. But yeah, so Karina, in clinic and the success stories that you've had through iridology, obviously you would have had many patients where you have seen something, through the iridology modality, and then you've adjusted accordingly with all of your fabulous, I'm going to say herbs and spices, but they're not spices, herbs and nutrients.
Yes.
and then have you gone back and taken another photo?
Yes. So with iridology, it takes a long time for the iris to change. Like my iris took nearly 8 years to make changes. So it's very hard to see an instant change. But I go by how much energy people are having, how they're feeling and so on. I had a little inbox message today. I've never been able to drop weight. Well, in the last 5 years, I worked out she was a lymphatic constitution. We made sure she got on celery juice and got rid of lots of fluid and so on. And now, she's feeling amazing. She sent me a photo of the difference of her face.
Wow.
So she had the lymphatic dots, the lymphatic rosary. And so I worked on her digestion and the lymphatic system. And now she's seeing a change in her metabolism and she's starting to feel great. So
that's so amazing, so amazing.
Yeah.
And ladies and gents, Karina is available to for naturopathic and iridology and herbal medicine. You can find Karina on Facebook, Karina Francois Naturopath, or on this post you can we'll pop the links in on this post for you to get in contact with Karina. So Karina, we also had Laura Ann, who also also one of our biggest fans, our raving fans in the wellness community. And so I'm going to say, is she brown? Is she a brown eye?
She is definitely a brown iris, and her eyes are amazing, just like the other girls. So thank you again for letting me look at those eyes. So with this personality type, I'll start with that. Again, high achiever, type A personality, highly driven, that kind of person. She may not look stressed on the outside, but on the inside, her mind never turns off. One interesting thing I saw with Laura Ann was her pupil was quite small. So,
what does that mean? What does that mean, Karina? Because I used to love. I loved. What was that show? The Mentalist.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was in The Mentalist where, in one episode, he said that when someone is excited, when something excites a person, their pupils get really big.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
Yes, I have. Yeah, absolutely. And with the other two girls, their pupils were quite large. Now, the pupil can change due to light, so it could have been a light thing.
Right.
But hers really stood out. So I think that she's highly driven and she's always like, go, go, go. And even if she's physically not go, 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 the mind is always go, go, go. So you are definitely a brown iris. It's the constitution's called hematogenic, and hematogenic irises tend to be ruled by what we call the liver. So, working on liver function is always really important. With Laura Ann's iris, if you have a look, you'll see there's like a cloudy area around the brown. Yeah,
I can see that.
So naturopathically, we call that the arcus sinalis. So what that means is that there's either cholesterol in the family, she may have cholesterol, and it can affect your memory and it can affect your ability to think straight and so on. So, it's kind of like a real cloudiness. It can also indicate issues with circulation, varicose veins, things like that. So it stands out quite a lot on the iris.
Okay.
So you can see that.
Yeah, I can see that. And Laura Ann was watching, so I hope Laura Ann give us some commentary, current commentary as we go along, and Karina can bounce off that.
Yeah, and you'll see too, Laura Ann's irises, there's not a lot of little crypts and things in the organ system. So for her, the main thing I can see is what's called leaky gut. So
Right, yes.
I know it has been an overused term, but leaky gut is basically when you eat foods, it kind of ferments and it tends to, there's little pockets and it goes through the, the stomach and goes from the small intestine into the bloodstream. People with leaky gut may have a lot of like food sensitivities and a lot of inflammation in the stomach, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, those sorts of things. So, and the way you see that on the iris is you can see these lines, and so that's the leaky gut indicator on there.
Wow, I can see that.
Yeah, so they're like lines. And the internal area is quite dark, which means, the gut function is something that we really need to work on, because that not only will affect her energy and so on, it will also affect her mind. So it can make you like, what's going on here can make you feel like you have depression, but in actual fact, it's more a gut thing.
Wow. And so just on that, sorry to interrupt you, but just on that, Karina, can you also see things like, as you said, it's nothing to be alarmed about, but you can see family history in the eye, and you can see the potential for something to grow in a particular direction. What about dementia? Those sorts of things. Yeah.
You can, but like I said before, so when you see what's called the arcus sinalis, so that is kind of like an indicator that, because your circulation to your brain isn't 100%, or, that's what's happened in previous generations, that you need to make sure that you are, taking
take care of it.
Precaution, so, things like if you were to come and see me, obviously if you weren't medication, I'd be putting you on things like ginkgo and brahmi and probably coenzyme Q10 and, some things that would help with your circulation and your brain, like vitamin E and so on. This is just general advice because you need a full history to make sure that I'm giving you the right guidance. But, you put in the preventative stuff, and it doesn't matter what your iris is showing and what you've inherited. It's more what you do now. So,
well, I've got some great feedback for you. It's a little bit hard to manage. Sorry if I'm looking down all the time.
That's okay.
But I'm actually checking the phone. So Laura Ann said, yes, used a light nearby. Yes, my mind goes off often. Yes, circulation issues. And yes, gluten sensitive, allergies to certain drugs.
Yeah. And I'll say something else to Laura Ann. And if I haven't done enough on Coralie, I'm happy to send some more information, inbox you guys so you've got it.
Yeah, oh, wonderful. That'd be great. Thank you, Karina.
I'll do that. I'll give you guys a written one. So what we've talked about today, so that at least you all get a fair go. But with Laura Ann too, I think she has suffered from low iron. I can see that, there's a big blue line, and low iron has probably been something that has occurred. It can also be high iron, so issues like hemochromatosis, which, some people have. And the other thing I wanted to point out too is there's a lot of yellow in here, so you definitely need to work on your liver. And there's a little trauma line too. So, your liver function, your gut function, your circulation, all those things are really important. And relaxation is such a huge part to overall health for you as well. So
that's amazing. Let's see if I've got some up-to-date feedback for you from Laura Ann. It's funny how the feedback doesn't go to the top, of the post. It sort of pops itself in anywhere and everywhere. It's really a little bit frustrating. But honestly, Karina, that is so terrific. So, audience, Spiritual Events Directory audience, if you want to get in contact with Karina and get an iridology reading yourself, then, Karina will pop her links on this post. And you can certainly find her on Facebook and Iridology, as we said, because of the iPhone. I mean, this modern technology, Karina, it's so awesome. You can actually also do naturopathy via Zoom, via Skype, online as well.
Yeah, so, absolutely. I'll make sure that the three that allowed me to look, they'll get their own little, probably 2-page report.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. Now, we only just wanted to, I'll just double check, maybe there's something coming through, but only that we have so many lovely ladies that pop in and pop out. And, you know, who doesn't love a reading, Karina? They all love to, everybody loves to be told it's all going to be all right.
Yeah, sure.
And what I love is, you know, again, is part of your own uniqueness, is that you found these, the Herb Oracle. And so
yes,
you can basically, I love it. So how about, would you mind if we, Magikal Herb Oracle, I mean, it's just, and you know, you and your herbs. So again, you're the modern medicine woman. You actually have a group, a very large group called the Modern Medicine Woman. So again, ladies, if you want to, you know, join Karina's group on Facebook and really be in the prime spot to receive all sorts of herbal remedies for anything and everything. You know, Karina is like, you're sort of like how we grew up. You know, we grew up, and then I love how you say, I mean, you know, all the medication, that not taking away from that path is what that path is. But all of the medication, don't the medication that we get, that we use, contain all of the herbs?
Well, it wasn't up until 60 years ago that we, you know, got chemical medicine. And the first,
that's what it's
you know,
called.
aspirin was, you know, came from the willow tree. So, and the salicylates and so on. And opium, obviously, came from California poppy, which I use the herb a lot for anxiety in here. So, you know, a lot of the medicines are actually chemical copies of nature without the vibration, which is sad, because we need the vibration. I mean, we're in the woo-woo series, so we can talk about that. But
I know,
you know,
yes, I love it when you start talking like this.
So all the herbs have obviously got indications, and they've got, you know, proper biological effect on the body. But, you know, we also look at the vibration of the herb and what it's doing to the vibration of our bodies. So, you know, if you eat in line with nature and you put in herbs, you know, like the fires, I can tell you now, I can guarantee you now. Well, actually, I did see some posts where the trees were shooting straight away. They got little buds, and dandelions, you know, everything's burnt and there's a dandelion that comes up. So the resilience of herbs, when you put that into your own body, will give you that vibration of nature to help you become more biologically resilient. And that's what I love about herbs. And you can incorporate them as tonics. Obviously, as a herbalist, the tonics is the best form, but you can also use, you know, herbal teas and
you've got clean herbals. You've also got clean herbals, which is your own brand. Yeah. And you've got a page for that. You've got and you know, your clean herbals, Karina, you're actually targeting quite a few quite a few areas. But you've got the menopause. You know, women peri, post, or right in the groups of menopause. You've got some fabulous teas for that.
Yeah, so cleanherbals.com.au. I've got 6 different tea varieties, so tea blend varieties. They're all organic, they're all GMO. It's amazing, like they're all formulas that I put together that work really well with the vibration of our bodies, like I said before, but they're also having a biological effect. And the hormone tea and the clean detox tea comes it comes as a program if you want to do the program, with the full nutritional book that I wrote myself to help you, you know, transition from, you know, perimenopause through menopause, you know, 2 years.
Well, it helps with it helps with the hot flushes, the bloody you know, night sweats, the mood swings,
inflammation. People are buying it. So the hormone balance tea at cleanherbals.com.au, you know, have a look at it if you're interested. It's natural, it's amazing.
I agree. So we're going to, ladies, we are going to do a couple of readings for you from the Magikal Herb Oracle. So let's see. Okay, now it's always let's see who. Okay, Leanne, hi. Is there anything for me, please? I would love a bit of guidance. Okay, well, Leanne hasn't mentioned anything in particular. Why don't we start with Tina, who she's. Are you able to help with osteoporosis, sclerosis of the hip? So she's got a couple of different things going on. Let's just pick a card for her, though, and see what it says.
All right. So we'll pick a card to see if it resonates with the actual condition. But with osteoporosis and so on, it's about making sure that we reduce inflammation in your body and we mineralize the body, and we also bring in really good essential fatty acids and so on. Yeah, but I'd have to look at your full history because everyone's different. All right, let's pick a card for her. What was her name again? Tina.
Yeah, Tina, and I'm just actually replying to you, Tina, that we are picking a card for you, and I'm popping Karina's link in there for you.
Interesting, Tina. So you got the cleanse card, which is the colt's foot herb. So it's time for you to, we'll talk about the biological aspect of your body. So it's time for you to cleanse. It's time for you to really bring in lots of natural things into your body that grow in the ground, mineralize your body. It's really interesting because mineralizing your body will also help with your osteoporosis. And osteoporosis obviously is, you know, when the bone starts to crumble and there's lots of inflammation, there's lots of pain for you and so on. So you wouldn't cleanse, you wouldn't go on a strict water diet or something like that. It'd be more to focus on bringing in lots and lots, like 3 bowls a day of greens, or, you know, things that are growing in the ground will help benefit your condition. It's also about cleansing emotion. So when you think about osteoporosis and bone, the bone is what supports life. It's the skeleton. It's what supports us. So where are you not feeling supported? Where, you know, maybe you need to move from not feeling trust to trusting in life again. I really feel that when you move from that to trust, then, you know, you'll feel a lot more cleansed in your soul as well. If you you know, believe in the universe or whatever it is you believe in, and you move into trusting that, then you will feel supported. Sometimes we look for people to support us, which obviously is amazing if we do have them, because we are human beings and we need community. But, you know, if it's not always there, then it's important to have a connection with something. Maybe it's time for you to, you know, move into communities a bit more and to feel that support.
Find your tribe, find your tribe. You can join us in our wellness community. I'll just take that opportunity to plug that. Particularly, you know, there's so many communities. You know, women in community are just absolutely rising. They're just rising up, and we're creating all sorts of fantastic connection, and we are collaborating. So there's many different ways in which all of these different communities can serve you. Our wellness community, if you're in Melbourne, particularly the Southeast, ladies, we run events outside of online, but also in real life, and you can come along. And we've got Wine and Wellness, we've got Future Me 2020 coming up in Feb. You know, and it's a real, as Karina said, you know, just to be with like-minded souls and to truly get that support.
Feel supported, you know, have someone there that will hold you, will have your back. I think that's really important. So
absolutely.
Who else are we doing?
That is wonderful. Right, who else are we doing now? Julene wanted the link to Karina, and I've just popped that in there for you, Julene, just now. Okay, we've got, we might just pull a card, although Tina, just did Tina, although Leanne didn't actually give us anything specific, Leanne just said if we could pull a card for her, so we'll do that.
All right. Hi, Leanne.
Hey, Leanne.
Okay, Leanne, let's see what you need. Oh, I love this herb. It's one of my favorites. So you've got lemon balm, which lemon balm it's called Melissa officinalis. It's one of my favorite herbs. I use it in nearly all my blends. And lemon balm resonates really well with the nervous system. So this card is all about reflection and, you know, I guess reflecting on all areas of your life that may be creating a bit of dis-ease or a bit of stress.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel that, you know, have some lemon balm tea, sip it, and then reflect and maybe write a little bit of a journal as to, you know, where you need to make some changes, where you can accept things, or where you have to let things go. So sometimes in life, you know, we have a fantasy about what we think things need to be like, or we would like them to be like, only because we would do something so much better than what we're getting. But we need to move away at times from fantasy to reality and reflect on what it is we need to now bring in. So that's what I feel.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So much, Karina. We had some feedback from Catherine, just by way of, I was blessed with a man who read my irises about 4 or 5 years ago, she says. I did what he suggested with the herbs and the spot on my eye went away. I have another spot in a different area on my eye, I noticed last week. I was told the man that did those readings are not at the health food store anymore. So isn't that interesting, Catherine? Whatever we need appears before us. And here we are introducing you to Karina. As we said, and I'll pop Karina's link there for you, and you can get in contact, message Karina and take it from there. So Karina, we've got, Barbara. Now, Barbara said, do you have any hints for healing in an inflamed knee on a knee? My doctor just prescribed Panadol, but I don't like to take that. So how about we pull a card and you just give her a little bit of...
Sure.
Yeah,
I do have an anti-inflammatory elixir on YouTube, if you'd like to have a look at that you can make yourself at home.
Awesome.
So there is a little video on that, but I'll pull a card for you now. What was her name?
Deborah.
Hi, Deborah. Protection. Isn't that interesting?
That's interesting.
Echinacea. So you got the beautiful echinacea. I don't know if you guys grow them, but they are just such a beautiful flower.
Oh.
And I was thinking last night how I could preserve that and wear it as a necklace, because it's just so amazing. So protection and echinacea. Echinacea is mainly indicated, interestingly enough, with inflammation of the immune system. It's also indicated in viruses. So, you know, there is obviously some inflammation going on for you in your body, not just your knee.
And my apologies there. My apologies. Yeah. Sorry, it was Barbara. It was Barbara.
Barbara. Sorry, Barbara.
Sorry, Barbara.
So echinacea is for the immune system, and it's an amazing coneflower, like I said. On a spiritual, emotional level, it's interesting because you've got a pain in your knee, and the echinacea on a spiritual level is all about protection. So which knee is it? Have we got which side?
Oh, okay, let me have a little look. Just collating all of them now. An inflamed knee. No, she doesn't say which one.
Okay.
Let me see if I'm getting some feedback from her.
So the knee is obviously, it helps you walk and it helps you bend your legs to move forward.
Yeah.
So if it's your right knee, it's about really moving forward in your masculine. If it's your left knee, it's in your feminine. So it's about bringing in the balance with both. And as far as the inflammation of the knee, like I said, if you want to look up that elixir, that will really help you a lot. The other thing too is if you want to get onto some echinacea tea, that'll help reduce inflammation as well. So yeah, so that's that.
That is awesome. Leonie said, oh, that's awesome. I'll have to check out your anti-inflammatory elixir. I have had bad lower back pain and knee pain. Oh, my God, how awesome. I'm just loving it. Love this segment for all that you are and for all that you know and for all that you are so willing to share with us. That is just so awesome.
I can pop the link after if you want to.
Oh, and yes, please do. And Laura Ann said, that was bloody brilliant. Thank you. I love it. And we've got,
I want to meet you guys. I've only seen your eye. I don't even know what you look like.
And Sharon said, Karina, Sharon said that she's spoken with you before to make an appointment, but she thinks she's just scared to hear what she may see in my eye. And she's asking, is this common?
It is common, but it's also, you can either fear knowledge or you can empower yourself with it. So nature provides so much to help us heal. So I would choose the path of empowerment and knowledge. And as a naturopath, my role is to be a teacher, to teach you what to do and to establish what's going on. And, there's so much that can help you. Like I said, we can't diagnose things like cancer and things like that. So, but I can definitely refer to doctors and different places if I feel you need. So there's no fear in knowing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, then I educate you into what to do anyway.
Yeah. And the thing is, Karina, as you said, I mean, beautifully pushed. I mean, the thing is, if you, you know, it's about that light at the end of the tunnel. If you know, you know, to me, it's always better to know, because once you know, then you know, what was dark has now been made light, and you can see it. And when you can see it, then you can reach out, you can get the support and the resources and the remedies, and you can recover. The other path is to bury your head in the sand, and by the time you you know, well, if you don't bring that head you know, up out of there, usually what happens is the universe will step in and you'll find it's too late. And you know, that actually happened with my mum. You know, for a year of it was a year of misdiagnosis. Is that how you say diagnoses or diagnosis? And I actually had that instinct. You know, this is the woo-woo show, and we can talk about all those many ways in which you just know things. You don't know how you know them, and there's no logical, rational. But you know, during that time, I think I've talked to you about this. You know, well, firstly, on a logical level, Mum was losing weight and wasn't trying to lose weight, and already a thin woman to begin with, and then you know, I just had that feeling. I just thought, this is cancer. But to be honest, I didn't realise it was going to go the way that it went. I thought it was just going to be an experience through which, you know, she would get it, all the illuminations and enlightenment that I felt. You know, we're always the expert about everybody else's lives, especially our parents. And I thought, oh, you know, Mum really wasn't. I didn't feel Mum was sort of in touch with her. Well, you know, she had a story, and her story was about working hard and getting the job done and providing the life that they provided for us. And I thought this would be, you know, her getting in touch with herself on that other level, deeper level. And, you know, long story short, it was a year of Mum not taking action. I don't know if she was scared. I kept sort of saying, Mum, why don't you go and see somebody else, get a second opinion, go down the natural path as well as the and anyway, by the time they finally did diagnose cancer, you know, it was too late. So yeah, I agree. I'm with you in that. As scary as it is, it's always better to bring these things out of the dark and into the light of day, and just then we can just get to healing it. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, there's different in naturopathy. There's 4 stages of disease, and we would like to try, and if we're going to get to any of the stages, the first 3 would be the best, you know, option.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, fantastic. Good question. That was a good question, wasn't it? That really. And then also, you know, I guess for me that experience again, because it is the Woo Woo series, it's important to trust our instincts, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is totally.
And you were saying, you know, you went to school, and you know, there was and it's all in your book. It's all in your book, Clean Food, Clear Thinking.
Yes.
So I always get that mixed up, don't I? I always get that mixed up. It's in your book, the story of how you became and why you became a naturopath. But I know that you and I have had many conversations about the fact that, and even with me and the numerology, you know, you can learn this stuff out of a book. You went to uni, you've spent over 6 years, and in actual fact, you've never stopped studying. You're always studying your craft. But, you know, you have said in clinic, you take what you know, you take your experiences, but you also have your intuition.
Yeah, I do. And it's interesting. It's as soon as I meet the person, it's like I already know what questions to ask, and
wow.
I'm just blessed. I'm guided.
You're very intuitive.
I love my job, and I love, you know, I'm here to help people and to help people feel better, and you know, to get the most out of their amazing, beautiful bodies that they've been given. So, you know, if I can do that and be guided and be present for that person on all levels, physical, emotional, spiritual, then I'm on purpose, you know.
I love it. I love that
it
about
doesn't
you.
feel like a job. It's not a job.
No, I love that. Okay, let's see if we can do another quick couple before we sign off for another week, ladies. I'm just going down. As I said, these things don't seem to. Jodie said that she's been doing the celery juicing in the morning, clean the liver. Is there any herbs to support this, Karina?
For the liver? To clean
Yeah.
the liver? Yeah. So the herbs that I would use for the liver that resonate really well are dandelion root. So dandelion root,
Wow,
dandelion
yeah.
leaf, dandelion leaf helps the kidney, dandelion root helps the liver.
Okay.
Anything bitter, anything that you taste bitter on your tongue will help the liver. So things like bitter endive, rocket, lemon juice in hot water, lemon juice in green tea. Anything bitter triggers the liver to flush. And that's, that works really well at helping support the liver. But, like me, I was brought up, with obviously ethnic parents. And we used to eat a lot of the green, the big green boiled vegetables with garlic and olive oil. That's a really, really good liver tonic. We didn't know back then, but I know now that anything green, anything you eat that's green resonates with the liver. So
that's amazing. Awesome. We've got Holly. If you are drawn, I'd love a card. She's mentioning gallstones.
Hi, Holly. I'll do your card. So gallstones. Okay. All right, let's have a look. All right, so your card is wild yam, and it's the abundance card. So with gallstones, I don't know if you've had gallstones or you've got gallstones or you don't have a gallbladder or what's going on with that. So the gallbladder's role is to help emulsify fats, to help you absorb vitamins A, D, E, and K, which are all fat soluble. In the body, and what it does is the gallbladder releases bile into the stomach to help emulsify the fat so we can absorb all these amazing nutrients. When we have gallstones, they create a lot of pain. So the gallbladder and the liver are all about anger. So, you have to check in on where you're holding to anger or where you're not speaking up. But it's interesting that I picked for you the abundance card, the wild yam card. So wild yam is all about the feminine, and it's all about, balancing our hormones. So generally people that I would give wild yam to tend to hold a lot of weight around their hips and, their buttocks and so on. So and when that's occurring, then there may be a lot of estrogen as well. So I feel that it would be really good for you to help balance some of your hormones, to help flush out some of these excess hormones out of your liver. And also, like I said, check in on your anger and so on, but also where you feel as a woman that you're not entitled to have lots or whatever you want. So, and abundance is not just about stuff, it's about love. I feel for you, it's about love. So, you're entitled to be loved, to have love, to feel love, all those things in your beautiful feminine body. Okay, so that's what I feel is your little reading today.
Oh, thank you. And I think we've got time for one more, and I think we'll end with, because this might be, it's nice to, I love it that, I love it in those moments when you happen upon something and, you may not get a personal reading, ladies, but someone gets a reading that resonates with you too. So I reckon finishing on this one might be terrific because Trees is asking for any advice for migraines. I take any advice for migraines. I take preventer meds at night. So I thought maybe a card and a bit of advice for her, general advice for her.
Yeah, sure. So migraines have many causes, and it all depends on the cause of your particular one. With migraine medication, you have to be really careful as what you combine with it because it can contraindicate. The migraine herb that I use, but you can't use it when you're on meds, is called feverfew, and it works really, really effectively with migraines. But like I said, it just depends on why you're getting migraines. If I was to do your iridology and a full hour consultation, then we could decipher a little bit better. But it may be that it can, it can be created through low minerals. It can be circulation. It can be nervous system. It can be hormonal. Look, there's just so many reasons you can get migraines. So for you, and like, I'd have to do a proper reading, but they're just a few little tips. Make sure you're hydrated, you're mineralized. The liver can also create a lot of migraines as well. But let's just see what your card is. That
lovely.
That might give us a bit more of an indication as to what's happening. Oh, it's so interesting. Okay, so we've ended the day with yerba mate. Now, that's an Argentinian herb, and I drink this every day. I was actually brought up drinking this stuff. So yerba mate is about, it works on adrenals. So I'm wondering if your adrenals are really tired as well, and when you go to bed, if you get the migraines then or during the day. So it'd be interesting to see if there was a link between your migraines and, your cortisol and adrenaline and insulin. That would be really interesting.
Wow.
Yerba mate is used for energy mainly, and it's also used in Argentina to keep people in community. So people drink yerba to make conversation with others and feel connected and so on.
Wow.
So, and it helps de-stress. I don't know if it's the yerba itself, but I think the action of everyone having it together and getting together every afternoon to have it helps people relax. So yerba does have a bit of caffeine in it, so it can be uplifting. But it's interesting that it's come up for you because it is an adrenal tonic. So I'd be curious to know whether, I don't know if you've had adrenal testing. They're usually saliva testing that you do through a naturopath to see where your cortisol and that are at. I would be curious to see that. And when I do treat people for migraines, I do normally do that testing. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, Karina. Unbelievable. So amazing, so insightful, so informative. And so ladies, I've responded to Karina's given us so much insight in this session. I've responded to a number of you and popped the link in there to Karina and her community, and Karina and I will pop back into the post and amend accordingly as well. So thank you so much, Karina. We can also find you your website for Infinite Health Practice.
InfiniteHealthPractice.com.au or cleanherbals.com.au. I've got lots of groups, and the girls that allowed me to look at their eyes, don't forget to send us your email so I can send you that information.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Spiritual Events Directory, and we would love you to also join us in our wellness community if you are in Melbourne, and especially on the Mornington Peninsula or southeastern suburbs, and come along to our real life events, because they are jam-packed with inspirational speakers. We have readers and healers, lots of holistic and wellness stalls, but we're just all about, as Karina said, it's all about teaching, connecting, supporting, and really just being there for each other, because it's all about team. Together everyone achieves more.
Yes.
Thanks for having us. Bye, ladies and gents.